Okay, so we came back. So after the little small break that I took, had time to do some reflecting. Still not the best at editing. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Well, my goal in all this is teaching. And if I can teach, even if it's one, I've done my job. So I'm Dr. Carmen Latrice, and we are back for another episode of Black Sugar Honey Iced Tea. And if you know, you know. So on the last, episode, I talked a little bit about what led me to becoming a nurse practitioner. And if you didn't see the episode, go back and see from patient to practitioner, or actually from psych patient to psych practitioner. That's my last video. So these series that I've been doing, I'm sticking with the topic of emotional intelligence, just because I feel a lot of people are not aware of how to manage their emotions. What does that even look like? How do I even get a handle or try to control? That's where I come in. So just to recap, emotional intelligence, the first step is becoming aware. Knowing your ability to read your own emotions, your own thoughts, your own feelings, and also being able to understand other people's. Because emotional intelligence is not just about you. It's about people in general. Being able to understand self and self with others and self with other people, if that makes sense. It's also about knowing your strengths and your weaknesses. A lot of times we get caught on, I don't know what my weakness is. Something that you need help trying to build, or something that you're trying to get a little bit better than before. That's a weakness. Being self-confident. Self-esteem is something that we have to put into ourselves, hence the word self. And sometimes we struggle with that. We can give so many compliments, we can compliment so many other people, but when it comes to looking in the mirror saying, great job, you, way to go, you, it's not so easy, right? And recognizing our mistakes, that's huge. If you aren't able to recognize your mistakes, how do you know what needs to get better? How do you know what you need to prune out, remove? How do you know? If you're not aware of the things that need to change, the things that could change, the things that could possibly change, what are you changing? So this journey with emotional intelligence is just making people familiar with, one, what it means. Two, how to finally get a handle on self. Because if you didn't see my video, if you don't know my story, I'm that girl. The one who fell in love early, thought that was going to be the end all be all. Sadly mistaken. Coming from a world of being told what to do, told how to dress, told that doesn't look right, change it. And me actually changing it to suit them. Whether it was family, whether it was friends, whether it was other people, relationships. Sometimes we have to learn how to say no and let that be a full sentence. We don't have to appease people because we're expected to, because our family did so, because we have an obligation. No, you are entitled to say no, and you're entitled to change your mind from yes to a no. It's called free will. Our amendments, if you're in the United States. So self-regulation is something that we have to be able to control. That's managing our emotions. That's not reacting on the level that's higher than the level of communication. What? So if I'm talking to you, but you're screaming at me, that's not regulation. Words, which are letters, in a dictionary. A lot of people say words and they don't even know what they mean. So let's take an assessment, which means looking at the source of something to see if we can come up with a conclusion, right? So if I'm going to take an assessment, just say we're talking, you are another person. If I tell you something that's not true, how do you know it's not true? Do you have a knowledge base that you pull it from? Or do you have the ability to go and research the original source? An original source would be somebody like me saying something to you. I'm the original source. It started with me. But if I tell you something from me, you become a secondary source if you go and tell somebody else, because how I said it to you may not reflect the same way in which you tell it to somebody else. That part. So sometimes we have to learn how to be calm before we speak. And if there's no calmness in your voice, maybe you shouldn't be speaking to people. Well, you don't understand, Dr. Carmen. They said what? What did they say to allow you to lose control? Were they talking about your family, your presence, and insulting your intelligence? They can't do those things unless you get down to a level where you believe that to be true. Little story. When I was growing up, I was very sensitive to the words of others. So when they would say things to me, they could be complete strangers, I would internalize or try to wonder what that meant when they said certain words. For example, in grade school, it was this kid that called me a heifer. And back then, I didn't know what that meant. And when you look it up in a dictionary, it's literal. I saw it to be a cow. So I'm thinking like, well, I'm human, so I can't be a cow. So the next time he called me a heifer, I told him I wasn't an animal. I'm not a cow. Did it stop him from calling me it? Probably not. But I made him aware that I'm aware that's not what I am. Now, had I not taken the time to go and research to see what it meant, I might have thought, oh, that may be a good thing because he's smiling when he's saying it. No. Let's learn to do our own research. Let's actually go take the time to look something up. We'll try to get to this in 20 minutes. I'm getting kind of congested and I can feel it. My face is starting to feel the pressure. But in service, there's misery. So right now, I am physically miserable. So being able to regulate our emotions, even with negative stimuli. What? So in negative situations, when bad things happen, it's raining, you're inside of a storm. Don't let that storm change your mindset. See that the sun is going to come out after the rain while it's raining. You have to see the light. If you don't see the light inside of your world, it's darkness. Before the Lord created light, darkness was upon the face of the earth. Don't allow darkness to be on your face and then you live in that earth. Learn how to regulate yourself so that nobody can say a thing to you or things to you to change your perspective. Right? That part. So I'm going to tell or read a biblical story because why not? And then I'm going to do a little bit of explaining on this self-regulation journey or emotional intelligence, but self-regulation within this journey. So this is from Matthew 13. And this is Jesus teaching in parables. And this is the amplified version because to me, King James is for the pastors. And I'm going to try to get through this being very congested, so bear with me. So I'm starting at verse 3. He told them many things in parables, saying, listen carefully. A sower went out to sow seed in his field. And as he sowed, some seed fell upon the road between the fields, and the birds came and ate it. Other seed fell on rocky ground, where they did not have much soil, and at once they sprang up. But because they had no depth of soil, when the sun rose, they were scorched, and they withered away. I want to sneeze, but it's not coming. Other seed fell among thorns, and thorns came up and choked them out. Other seed fell on good ground, or good soil, and yielded grain, some 100 times as much as was sown, some 60 times as much, and some 30. He who has ears to hear, let him hear and heed my words. And because Jesus taught in parables and he left a message for those, if you continue to read down. So this is the explanation of that. And this is Matthew 13, starts at verse 18. Listen then to the meaning of the parable of the sower. When anyone hears the word of the kingdom regarding salvation and does not understand and grasp it, the evil one comes and snatches away what was sown in his heart. This is the one whom seed was sown beside the road. The one whom seed was sown on rocky ground, this is the one who hears the word, but at once welcomes it with joy. Yet he has no substantial root in himself, but is only temporary. And when pressure or persecution comes because of the word, immediately he stumbles and falls away, abandoning the one who is the source of salvation. And the one whom seed was sown among thorns, this is the one who hears the word, but the worries and distractions of the world and the deceitfulness, the superficial pleasures and delight of riches choke the word, and it yields no fruit. And the one whom seed was sown on good soil, this is the one who hears the word and understands and grasps it. He indeed bears fruit and yields, some 100 times as much was sown, some 60 times as much, and some 30. What does that mean? One, you have to be able to plant on good soil. And planting on good soil means you are able to cultivate. You're the crop. What does cultivating mean? Watering yourself, putting in the energy that you should be getting out. Not expecting to plant something today and receive it tomorrow. Farmers have a season. Some of them have several seasons before they actually yield crop. So why are we thinking the day of work is the day of return? Even the way that the pay system is set up as an employee, most people get paid on a bi-weekly schedule. You don't go into work and say, hey boss, I worked today, where's my money? You could, but will that get you your check? No. For the record, no. So what does that mean with emotions and being able to regulate them? Let me tell you. Being able to be in a space and get out of that space that was once your sole existence takes strength. To rise out of a situation that you can't even imagine being inside of takes courage, resiliency, being able to recover after a mistake, a setback. If we think of failures as opportunities to recover, then maybe it'll be easier or not as difficult. Let's learn to change the language in which we use to get ourselves out of a funk. Let's use I am statements, I hope statements. I am full of greatness. Hope is something that I continue to put inside of me. Yeah. Not I hope. I hope. I hope. You can say that too, but what action are you saying to follow behind that? What action? What are you doing to produce fruit? Are you complaining? Everything keeps happening to me. Why do I even try? Why do you? Actually reflect on that question. Why do you allow yourself to have these negative feelings when you know those negative feelings do not get you where you want to be? Even though you're presently in a space, just like if you were to stand in water, you can't stand in the same place where the water sits still. It moves. Those molecules will not sit still. They just won't. Let's learn to be those molecules. Let's move around until we find where we're supposed to go. Right? So, 3 tips. Clean your headspace. You have to be able to control your thoughts, control your mood, control your feelings. These are controllable things. If you decide to control them, you can find a way. Exercise, meditation, yoga, running, journaling, singing, dancing, anything that gets your body moving is going to force your brain to do what it does. Become a factory for you to get emotions regulated. Our brain does that. Sitting on the couch won't do it. Crying our eyes out won't do it. Sitting in a space not moving will not do it. Eating until you can no longer take in food will not do it. Telling all your family, friends, all the stuff that's not right will definitely not do it. Clear your personal space. Chaos in the environment is similar to chaos in your mind. So if you're wondering, why am I having a hard time? Look around. What do you see? Is it stuff everywhere? Are you your own version of the television show Hoarders? But now I need this, or I need that, or no, but you don't understand, like this is very important. Is it really? Is it really? If you've not used it in 60 days, 90, a year, how important is it? Find comfort in a new place. Sometimes we have to learn how to be by ourselves. That's not easy for a lot of people who are used to feeling like they're already by themselves. So you know what you do? Physically make that transaction. If you already feel by yourself, that may be an indicator that you need to take time alone. If you're in a relationship and words bother you so much, then you shouldn't be in a relationship. People shouldn't have to suffer to get to understand you. They shouldn't. I shouldn't have to suffer to understand who you are as a person, and vice versa. So I'm going to have these 4 ways to self-regulate. And then we're going to cut this off, and then we're going to come back the next time. Stay calm. Learn how to manage yourself. If you can be calm at work around your employers, you can be calm around your family, you can be calm around your spouse, your kids. Make conscious, godly decisions. Think from a place of love, and everything else will fall in line accordingly. Be flexible. Not being open to change will get you nowhere. So you have to learn how to put you first. and then continue to put you in series to align, to keep you above where you used to be. It's not about comparing you to the next person, to even family. Even if you are a twin, nobody's alike. Siamese twins, in the sense of being conjoined, cannot be the same. Personality, no. And they're physically placed together. Break free of worldly influence. Social media is not the alarm clock. It's not the good night medicine. It's not entertainment. Yes, it's entertaining, but where is it getting us? Yes, I'm a victim of the occasional too long of a scroll. Yeah, it's addictive. The little bits of dopamine from all those ads and all those things that pop up feeds us to stay on here longer. Let's use it for our benefit. Take things that we want to have and learn how to make it better. Use our imagination to help us grow, to get to the next level, right? So we gonna cut this off about now. But self-regulation is just basically you understanding how to keep you in check and not allow anybody to uncheck you, regardless of what they do or say. Let people have the right to free speech. That's their First Amendment right. You got the right to say what you like. We don't have to take it. That part. So whether you have to cut a person off, remove yourself from that space, but once you remove yourself, don't be back and forth. No, we don't do that. That's how we get hurt. That's how our feelings get involved, and we want to be an episode of Snapped or Forensic Files. We don't want to be either one. We don't want to go to jail for somebody else taking our emotions from us. That's what they're doing. But we're giving them to them. Let's not give unless there's a receiver on that other end. If I'm giving, and you're taking, poke a hole in the water balloon and don't tape it up. What happens? Yeah, it leaks out. And if you don't replace that water that's leaking out, you'll have a flat balloon with no water. That's our bodies. The water simulates our blood, our emotions, that energy. Allowing that to drain out of us, it's going to leave us flat, emotionless, full of too much emotion too. So let's learn how to package ourselves together. The same way we can be representations at work and go to corporate functions and be the best person that they see. Let's do that at home. Because if you're not happy at home, why are you pretending to be happy outside? That part. So the next arm of this emotional intelligence journey is motivation. How do you get yourself out of a funk? And along with motivation, I'm going to add in a little bit of how to tell if somebody's being deceptive based on what science says now. I've been doing some research to see, are there telltale signs? Are there clues, indicators to let us know? And science says there are some, but you got to come back to get those. So I'm planning for Sunday to be the day where we upload videos. So if you get this Sunday, then it worked. If not, I had some trouble editing or uploading this video, not editing, because we said we're not doing it anymore. So this is me giving you pieces that I've developed over the years. I've tried them on myself. Some of them I'm still doing. I add more to the pot daily. Because to get out of a space that, like I said, you didn't know you were going to be inside of, You fight to stay out of it. So that's the last tip I can leave, is just fight to stay out of it. Fight to stay out of the pain. Fight to stay out of the trauma. Fight to stay out of what happened to you in the past. You gotta fight. Just like babies when they're learning how to walk. They may get frustrated. That's okay. It's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to get mad. It's okay to feel like you don't know what you're doing. Seek professional help. YouTube. Reach out to me for some coaching. Think about what you want to get in life and then go out there and get it. Don't allow people to tell you no. No, not yet. Think of it that way. Not yet. But don't put another person's life and then take their face and put yours on it. Because you wonder why money doesn't bring happiness and poor people can feel like they at the top of the world. It's what's inside of your heart. That part. Okay, so we're going to get this show going. And I hope you have a really wonderful day. And if you cannot, do something to make you feel better. And if that doesn't work, do something to make somebody else feel better. Because it's a full circle. I help you help me. And then we switch. Okay, so, okay, bye.